Good afternoon. How are y'all doing? In this episode, I want to explain to you who is eligible to adjust status in America. Now, uh, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America and across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem. Now, in this episode, most importantly, people are asking me, how do I get a green card in America? And also, many people have filed a petition and actually received an approval of the petition I-130, but they have filed based on a family preference category. Now, for example, that could be based on a resident spouse or a resident parent, and or you're a married or unmarried child, son or daughter. And so there's different variations of the family preference, or maybe you're a sibling, you're a brother or sister who has filed for you. And the key similar fact here is that you are in the United States. Now, most people think that just because you're able to file in a petition means that you're able to adjust status here. Now, there's a huge difference. Now, if it was an immediate relative category, then yes, you can adjust status in the United States. But the categories I just mentioned, F1, F2, F2A, F2B, F3, and F4, that is not immediate relative. Immediate relative is like the superior. I don't want to use the word category because that is not a category. It's separate. It's at the top echelon. It's the best case scenario if you have that type of relationship that you're afforded. So if you are immediate relative, relationship like a spouse to a U.S. citizen, or you have a U.S. citizen son or daughter who's over 21, for example, or you are under 21, and your parent, U.S. citizen parent, is filing for you, then that's possible. Or you're also filing for, or you happen to be the U.S. citizen over 21 and you're filing for one of your parents. That is considered immediate relative. Now, of course, if you want to check in with us, our office, we're happy to do that. If your family relationship is considered immediate relative, go ahead and call this number down below or text, and our CARES team will call you within the next business day. Now, here's why this is important. Because if you're not immediate relative, if you're not a Violence Against Women Act applicant, if you're not an immigrant doctor, if you're not something called G4, which is really for NATO employees or international organizations, or something called Special Immigrant Juvenile, that's for based on the application I-360, or if you're not certain members of the U.S. military, and also if you're not based on employment-based applicants who also meet this exemption, which we'll talk about in a separate video. But if you're not in any of those categories, then you cannot adjust status in the United States. And the phrase adjust status means changing your status from basically no status, or let's say you have something called, for example, F1 student visa or any type of other visa, and then change that to, quote unquote, like a higher level of resident status, that most people call green card because you get the physical card that is kind of like semi-green now. But anyway, those are the categories that you can adjust status here in the United States. Otherwise, you do have to return to your birth country for something we call consular processing. Now, even though I've said all this, you may still be eligible. Now, for example, if you have I mentioned VAWA earlier, VAWA, Violence Against Women Act, or if you have you're a victim of a crime or trafficking victim, I'll go into more detail about both of those. But basically, for example, trafficking victim, if most people think that only as human trafficking, for example, for prostitution, but it's also for labor reasons. If you've been working for someone and they haven't paid you your due wages, then that is a way to request and apply for trafficking T visa. Now, so there's different scenarios that you could still be eligible for adjustment of status, your green card, without having to leave the U.S. But of course, it depends on your facts. And so, on that note, if you think you have a situation or anything like that, then go ahead and fill out the intake form down below. It starts with the URL Ting Law. Or of course, if you don't have time for that, you can quickly, if you're at work, you can quickly just text this number, the 346 area code. So there's a lot more information, but I just want to get that information out there because a lot of people that have been commenting on our YouTube channel and also calling in and scheduling consultations. They think they are eligible to obtain status here, green card resident, permanent resident status here, but they are not immediate relative or any of those other based applicants as well. So it's very important you consult with our office or any other immigration attorney so you can just verify that, okay? Especially if you have not filed yet. And actually, especially if you're about to have an interview and you're not quite too sure, because you should not assume that just because you have an interview coming up that you are eligible. That's the whole reason for the interview. The USCIS is not going to verify everything before the interview. So you just want to make sure that you are eligible still, especially if you filed on your own and did not hire a lawyer. Please have a consultation, schedule a consultation with an immigration lawyer. I think that would greatly help you just to verify A through Z. Okay, so by the way, friends, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe down below. We appreciate it, and kindly hit the like button if you enjoy our content. YouTube YouTube will share our video with others who are similar like you that have questions like this. And also, if you know someone who has an immigration problem, please share our video with them, and hopefully our channel can answer their question. Until next time, friends, please continue wearing a mask. Take care now.